All right. Hey, everyone, get ready because today we are going deep into the world of exercise science.
Oh, I love a good deep dive.
Me too. And this is going to be a good one. I think we're going to unpack all the core principles that make workouts, well, work. Whether
Yeah.
you're super into fitness or just starting out,
Yeah, for sure.
this is like your cheat sheet to understanding how your body responds to exercise,
Yeah,
like what's actually happening in there.
exactly. And the cool thing is we're using this training manual, right, that's designed for Australian fitness instructors. So we're getting the inside scoop.
Ooh, insider knowledge. I like it.
Yeah, evidence-based information.
Okay, so before we get into the really complicated stuff, I do want to talk about something super important. How to spot reliable fitness information,
Oh, yeah.
Because with all the advice swirling around online, in gyms, it's so easy to get misled.
It really is. There's a lot of noise out there.
Right. So what's the biggest red flag we should watch out for?
I'd say the biggest red flag is a lack of credible sources. You want to make sure the information you're getting is backed by science and it's coming from trustworthy sources.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, think government health websites or respected organizations, like Exercise and Sports Science Australia or qualified medical professionals, obviously.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense because I remember reading this article online about this miracle workout, and it claimed to burn fat like crazy, but there were no sources listed at all, and I was just like, this seems a little too good to be true.
Yeah, you got to trust your gut on that one.
Right.
Yeah, be wary of anything that sounds too good to be true or lacks that scientific backing.
Okay, good advice, good advice. So once we've made sure our information's reliable, like we've done with this training manual, what are the key principles of exercise science that we should understand? I'm ready to get into the meat of it.
All right, let's go. Well, this training manual lays out 7 key principles, and they're kind of like the fundamental laws that govern how our bodies respond to exercise. So we have adaptation, individualization, overload, specificity, progression, regression, and reversibility.
7, okay, we can handle that. 7 principles. Let's start with adaptation. How does that work? And why should we care about adaptation?
Okay, so adaptation basically means your body is a learning machine. It's constantly adjusting and improving in response to the demands that you're placing on it.
Okay.
The more you do a specific exercise, the better your body becomes at performing it. It's like practicing a musical instrument or learning a new language. The more you do it, the more skilled you become.
So that no pain, no gain thing, is that a myth then? Does adaptation mean we shouldn't push ourselves to the point of utter exhaustion every workout?
Yeah, no pain, no gain can be a bit misleading, While some discomfort is normal, especially when you're trying new exercises, pushing yourself too hard too soon can actually backfire.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, remember, adaptation takes time. You need to gradually increase that intensity and challenge to avoid burnout and injury.
That's interesting. So starting slowly and gradually increasing the challenge is actually key to making progress.
Absolutely. It's like building a house. You need a strong foundation before you can add more floors. And in the context of exercise, that foundation is built through gradual adaptation.
And I'm starting to see how this all comes together. So we've established our bodies adapt to exercise,
Right.
but is this adaptation process the same for everyone? I mean, we're all
Yeah.
different, right?
Right, and that's where the principle of individualization comes in. It emphasizes that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to exercise. Just like snowflakes, no two bodies are exactly alike. Effective training needs to be tailored to individual needs and goals, taking into account things like age, fitness level, any pre-existing conditions, even lifestyle factors.
So a workout plan that works for a 20-year-old athlete wouldn't necessarily be appropriate for someone who's 60 and just starting to exercise.
Exactly. It's about finding what works best for you based on your unique circumstances and aspirations.
Okay.
And a qualified fitness instructor can be a valuable resource in this process, helping you design a program that's both safe and effective for your individual needs.
This is making me rethink my entire approach to exercise. Wow. Okay, let's move on to the next principle, overload. What does that mean exactly? I'm imagining myself lifting weights that are way too heavy.
Haha. Overload is actually a good thing, but it's not about pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion or injury. It's about strategically challenging your body to adapt and grow stronger. It's like giving your muscles a little nudge to say, hey, we need to step it up here.
So how do you know how much to overload without overdoing it?
Well, there are a few different ways to achieve overload safely and effectively. You can increase the weight you're lifting, the number of reps or sets you're doing, or the difficulty of the exercise itself.
Okay.
The key is to listen to your body and find that sweet spot, the point where you're challenging yourself enough to stimulate adaptation, but not so much that you risk injury or burnout.
Gotcha. So overload is all about pushing your limits, but in a smart and controlled way. All right, let's talk about specificity. I'm guessing this has something to do with training for specific goals.
You got it. Specificity means that you need to train for the specific outcomes you desire. Like, if your goal is to run a marathon, you wouldn't train the same way as someone who wants to build muscle mass, right?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. You wouldn't practice basketball to get better at swimming.
Exactly. And our source, it highlights the difference between training for cardiovascular endurance, like running, swimming, or cycling, versus training for muscle strength, which might involve weightlifting or bodyweight exercises. It's all about matching your training to your goals.
Okay, so we've got adaptation, individualization, overload, and specificity. What are the next three principles?
All right, so we have progression, regression, and reversibility.
Okay, let's unpack those. Starting with progression, what's that all about?
All right, so progression is about gradually increasing the challenge to keep making progress. It's kind of like leveling up in a video game. You start with easier levels and gradually progress to more challenging ones as you gain experience and skill.
So if I'm able to run a mile comfortably, I might try increasing my distance or speed gradually to keep challenging my cardiovascular system.
Yeah, that's a great example. Progression is about continually challenging yourself to avoid those plateaus and keep making those gains.
Okay, and what about regression? Is that like the opposite of progression?
Exactly. Regression is about dialing things back a bit when needed. It allows you to adjust the intensity or difficulty if things become too challenging, maybe you're recovering from an injury, or simply need to give your body a break.
This makes me think of modifications for exercises, like doing a push-up against a wall instead of on the floor. Would that be an example of regression?
Absolutely. That's a perfect example of modifying an exercise to make it more accessible, while still working those same muscle groups. It's all about finding the right challenge level for you at any given time.
Okay, so progression is about gradually increasing the challenge, and regression is about dialing it back when needed. What about reversibility?
Reversibility, that's the use it or lose it principle. It means that if you stop exercising for a while, you'll gradually lose some of those fitness gains you've worked so hard for.
Oh, no.
But the good news is you can regain it with consistent effort once you get back on track.
Okay, good. So consistency is key, and it's not just about formal workouts, right? I remember reading somewhere that even small increases in daily activity, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, can make the difference.
Oh, absolutely. Incorporating more movement into your daily routine is a fantastic way to combat reversibility and maintain those hard-earned benefits.
This is all incredibly helpful. But before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, I wanted to touch on injury prevention and recovery. The manual briefly mentions the importance of warm-ups and cool-downs. Can you elaborate on why those are so important?
Sure, so think of warm-ups as prepping your body for the main event. They gradually increase your heart rate, blood flow, and muscle temperature, which helps prevent injury. Imagine trying to stretch a cold rubber band. It's much more likely to snap than a warm one. The same principle applies to your muscles.
That's a great analogy. And cool downs help your body transition back to a resting state, right?
Exactly. They help lower your heart rate gradually and prevent blood from pooling in your lower body, which can lead to dizziness or lightheadedness. Cool downs also help reduce muscle soreness and promote recovery.
Okay, this brings up another question. What about active versus passive recovery? I've heard these terms before, but I'm not always sure what they mean.
Okay, so active recovery involves doing light activity after your main workout, like walking or gentle stretching. And passive recovery, on the other hand, is all about complete rest. Imagine relaxing on the couch with a good book. That's passive recovery.
Interesting. I'm guessing there are times when one approach is more appropriate than the other.
Absolutely, and that's something we can delve into further in our next segment. It's all about knowing when to push and when to rest, and how to strike the right balance for your individual needs.
This has been so eye-opening already. I feel like I'm starting to see exercise in a whole new light. It's not just about hitting the gym and sweating it out. It's about understanding how our bodies work and using those insights to train smarter and safer.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be exploring further in part 2 of our deep dive. We'll delve into the different types of training, how your body responds at a physiological level, and how to design a recovery strategy that actually works for you.
I can't wait to learn more. This is fascinating stuff. We'll be back after a short break to continue our exploration of the amazing world of exercise science.
Welcome back. I'm still thinking about all that talk about adaptation. And those 7 principles, it's like having a secret decoder ring for understanding how exercise really works.
It's true, they give us a really powerful framework, and now it's time to see them in action.
Let's explore how they apply to different types of training and unpack those incredible ways your body adapts to physical challenges.
Okay, so what kind of training are we talking about here? I'm guessing it's not just lifting weights and running on a treadmill.
It's way more diverse than that. Our source outlines several types, each with its unique benefits and demands. We're going to touch on aerobic, anaerobic endurance, speed, strength, power, flexibility, and even long-term and low-impact training.
Whoa, that's quite a menu.
Yeah.
When I hit the gym, I usually just jump on the elliptical or do some random weight machines. I never really thought about all the different types of training. Let's start with aerobic exercise, since it seems to be everyone's go-to for general fitness.
Yeah, you're right. Aerobic training is often recommended for overall health, and it's a great place to start. It involves rhythmic, sustained activities that get your heart pumping and your lungs working.
Okay.
Think running, swimming, cycling, dancing, anything that gets you breathing harder for a sustained period.
Okay, that makes sense. But what's actually happening inside my body during aerobic exercise? I know I'm sweating and breathing hard, but what's going on at a cellular level?
Okay, so picture this. Your heart rate and breathing rate increase to deliver more oxygen to your working muscles. And this oxygen is like fuel for your muscles, helping them convert stored energy from glucose and fat into the power needed to keep you moving.
Oh, wow. So that's why I feel so energized after a good cardio session. My muscles are literally being fueled by oxygen. What about anaerobic training? I've heard that term thrown around, but I'm not really sure what it means.
Yeah, so anaerobic training is all about short bursts of high-intensity activity. Things sprinting, heavy weightlifting, or interval training, where you're alternating between periods of intense effort and rest. It's about pushing your limits for a short period of time.
So if I'm doing a set of heavy squats, pushing myself to lift as much weight as I can, that would be anaerobic.
Exactly. And because the intensity is so high, your muscles rely primarily on stored glucose for energy. They don't have time to use oxygen in the process. Hence the term anaerobic, meaning without oxygen.
This is fascinating. I had no idea there was such distinct energy systems at play during different types of exercise.
Yeah.
What's the difference between endurance and speed training? Are they both just about pushing your limits?
Well, they are both about pushing limits, but in different ways. Endurance training focuses on sustaining effort for longer periods. Imagine a long-distance run or a swim where you're maintaining a steady pace for miles. It's all about building that stamina and mental fortitude to keep going.
And speed training. That sounds more intense.
Yeah, speed training is all about quick, powerful movements. It prioritizes bursts of energy and rapid acceleration, like sprinting or agility drills. Think of a basketball player darting down the court or a tennis player reacting to a serve.
So endurance is about going the distance, and speed is about explosiveness.
Got it. Let's move on to strength and power training. Those seem pretty similar. What's the distinction? You're right, they are closely related, but there's a subtle difference. So strength training focuses on building muscle mass and strength, often using weights, resistance bands, or bodyweight exercises. It's about gradually increasing the load your muscles can handle.
And power training.
Power training takes it a step further. It focuses on generating force quickly. Think explosive movements like squat jumps, box jumps, or throwing a medicine ball.
So power training is like strength training with a turbo boost.
Exactly. It's about training your muscles not just to be strong, but also to be fast and responsive.
I bet that's super important for athletes. Okay, what about flexibility? I'll admit, I often skip stretching. Is it really that important?
Flexibility is crucial for maintaining healthy joints, preventing injuries, and improving your overall range of motion. It's about improving the ability of your muscles and connective tissues to lengthen and move freely.
Okay, I'm convinced. No more skipping stretching. What about those last two you mentioned, long-term and low-impact training? Those seem a bit different.
Yeah, they do have a different focus. Long-term training, as the name suggests, involves consistent exercise over extended periods, months, years, even decades. It emphasizes sustainability and gradual progress, rather than quick fixes.
So it's about making exercise a lifelong habit, not just a short-term fling. I like that. What about low-impact training?
Low-impact training focuses on activities that are gentle on the joints. This could include walking, swimming, cycling, or even yoga. It's a great option for people of all ages and fitness levels, especially those with joint pain or injuries.
Okay, so we've got a whole spectrum of training types. from high-intensity anaerobic workouts to gentle, low-impact activities. This brings us back to those 7 principles, right?
Absolutely. Our bodies are constantly responding and adapting based on the type of training we do. Remember adaptation. It's the key to progress.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how it all fits together. Can you give us some specific examples of how our bodies adapt to different types of training?
Sure, let's take aerobic training, for example. With consistent cardio, your heart becomes more efficient, pumping more blood with each beat like a well-oiled machine. Your lungs also become better at taking in and utilizing oxygen, improving your overall cardiovascular capacity.
Wow. And what about strength training? How do my muscles actually get stronger?
Okay, so with regular strength training, your muscle fibers literally increase in size and number. They become more adept at contracting and generating force, leading to increased strength and power. And it's not just your muscles. Your tendons and ligaments, the tissues that connect muscle to bone, also become more resilient, reducing your risk of injury.
Wow, this is incredible. It really highlights the power of consistent exercise. But I know from experience that it's easy to get carried away and push too hard. What are the signs of overtraining? And how can we avoid it?
Overtraining is a real thing, and it can have the opposite effect of what we're aiming for, leading to fatigue, injury, plateaus, even hormonal imbalances. Some common signs include persistent muscle soreness, decreased performance, increased fatigue, difficulty sleeping, loss of motivation, and even mood swings. It's your body's way of saying, hey, enough is enough, I need a break.
So rest and recovery are just as important as pushing ourselves during workouts.
Absolutely. Let's circle back to those different recovery approaches we touched on earlier, active versus passive recovery. When would you recommend one over the other?
I'm all ears.
Oh.
I've always wondered about the best way to recover after a tough workout.
So active recovery, like gentle walking or stretching after your main workout, is a great way to promote blood flow, reduce muscle soreness, and help your body return to a resting state. It's like gently coaxing your muscles back to normalcy.
And passive recovery, is that just about vegging out on the couch?
Yeah, passive recovery is about complete rest. Giving your body a chance to repair and rebuild those muscle tissues, it's essential when you're feeling truly exhausted after particularly intense workouts, or if you're experiencing any signs of overtraining.
So listening to your body is key. If I'm feeling wiped out or super sore, a day of passive recovery is probably a better choice than pushing through another workout.
You got it. It's all about finding what works best for you and tuning into those signals your body is sending.
This is all so incredibly helpful. I'm starting to see exercise as less about brute force and more about strategic planning and listening to my body's cues.
That's a fantastic takeaway. And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to take it a step further and show you how to put all these principles into practice.
Can't wait. We're going to walk you through the steps of creating a workout program that's tailored to your individual needs and goals, using the power of exercise science every step of the way. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back and ready for the last part of our exercise science deep dive. We have covered so much already. Spotting reliable fitness information, those 7 core principles of exercise. Now it's time to actually put it all together, to see how we can use this to create like an awesome workout plan. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm ready to go from theory to practice.
I love that energy. Yes, it's time to put all those principles into action and learn how to design a program that's truly tailored to your individual needs and goals. Think of it as creating a fitness roadmap, but it's uniquely yours.
Okay, I'm grabbing my metaphorical pen and paper. Where do we even begin with this personalized fitness roadmap?
All right, so the first step is to assess your current situation. Think about your age, lifestyle, fitness level, any pre-existing conditions, and of course, your goals. It's like taking inventory before you start cooking. You need to know what ingredients you're working with before you can create a delicious meal.
Right, so it's back to that principle of individualization, right? No one-size-fits-all approach to fitness.
Exactly. Remember Eva, our case study from the training manual?
Right, Eva, yeah.
The 23-year-old with a sedentary lifestyle.
Yes, I remember her. And her fitness assessment shows she had average muscle strength and flexibility. But her cardiovascular and muscular endurance were areas that needed some attention. Plus, she has asthma.
Right, exactly. Those are all crucial factors to consider when designing her program. We want to create a plan that plays to her strengths while addressing those areas where she can improve.
I imagine her program would look very different from, say, a seasoned athlete who's training for a marathon. Like they'd have very different starting points and goals.
Absolutely. For Eva, we'd want to prioritize exercises that gradually build up her cardiovascular and muscular endurance, while also being mindful of her asthma.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what kind of exercises would you recommend for someone like Eva, who's just starting out on her fitness journey, wants to improve her endurance, but also taking her asthma into account.
So brisk walking, cycling, or swimming are all great options for building cardiovascular endurance. Without putting too much stress on the joints, we could even start with shorter intervals of these activities and gradually increase the duration as her fitness improves. That's the principle of progression in action.
Oh, I see. And what about for muscle strength and endurance? I always feel intimidated by those heavy weights in the gym.
You don't need to jump into heavy weights right away. Body weight exercises are a fantastic starting point. Squats, lunges, push-ups, planks, those are all great for building strength and endurance, using just your own body weight. And as she gets stronger, we can gradually increase the challenge by adding weights or resistance bands.
I like that approach. It feels less intimidating, for sure.
Yeah.
But how do you actually figure out the right amount of exercise? I always hear those terms: volume, intensity, and frequency. How do you determine those for each person?
Okay, so those are the magic ingredients of program design. Volume refers to the amount of work done, like sets, reps, weight. Intensity is about how hard your body is working during each exercise. Are you pushing to your max or taking it a bit easier? And frequency is how often you exercise. Are we talking 3 days a week, 5 days a week, or something else?
Okay, so for someone like Eva, who's just starting out, we'd probably begin with lower volume, intensity, and frequency to avoid overwhelming her.
Exactly. We might start with 2 or 3 workouts per week, each around 30 minutes long. Focusing on proper form and gradually increasing the challenge as her fitness improves. We don't want to throw her in the deep end right away.
Right, right. Ease her in, build her confidence.
Yeah.
We also need to consider her asthma. Are there any specific things we should keep in mind when designing her program because of that?
Absolutely. We want to make sure the exercise environment is safe and comfortable for her. We might recommend avoiding outdoor workouts during peak pollen seasons, having her inhaler readily available, and monitoring her breathing throughout the workout.
That makes total sense. So it's about creating a plan that's not only effective, but also safe and enjoyable for her. This is all starting to click, but can you walk us through a sample workout routine for Eva, just to see how these principles would come together in real life?
Sure, let's imagine a sample week for Eva. We've got her doing 3 30-minute workouts a week. Each session would include a warm-up, the main workout, or what we call the conditioning phase, and a cool down.
Okay, I'm picturing it. First up, the warm-up. What does that look like for Eva?
We'd start her with 5 minutes of light cardio, like brisk walking or marching in place, followed by 5 minutes of dynamic stretching.
Dynamic stretching, can you remind me what that is again? I always forget the difference between dynamic and static stretching.
No problem. So dynamic stretching is all about moving your joints through their full range of motion. Think arm circles, leg swings, torso twists. It's a great way to gently prepare your muscles for the workout ahead. It's like waking up your body and saying, let's get moving.
Oh, right, right. Okay, so 5 minutes of light cardio to get the blood flowing, followed by 5 minutes of dynamic stretching to limber up those muscles. What's next? The main event.
Exactly. Now we move into the conditioning phase, where we focus on building Eva's cardiovascular and muscular endurance. We could start with 15 minutes of interval training on the stationary bike.
Interval training, that's where you alternate between periods of high intensity and rest or low intensity activity, right?
You got it. It's a super effective way to improve both cardiovascular fitness and calorie burning. For Eva, we might start with 30 seconds of high-intensity pedaling, followed by 60 seconds of rest or low-intensity pedaling. We'd repeat this cycle for 15 minutes.
Okay, that sounds doable, even for a beginner. What about the muscle strength and endurance part of the workout?
After the interval training, we'd move on to some bodyweight exercises. We might include 2 sets of 10-12 repetitions of squats, lunges, push-ups, and planks. We'd focus on proper form and encourage her to take breaks as needed.
All right, so we've got the warm-up, the interval training, and the bodyweight exercises. What about the cool down?
We'd wrap up with 5 minutes of light cardio, like walking on the treadmill, followed by 5 minutes of static stretching.
Ah, static stretching, that's where you hold a stretch for a period of time, right? Like reaching down to touch your toes.
Exactly. It's a great way to improve flexibility, reduce muscle soreness, and bring your body back to a state of relaxation.
Okay, so there we have it, a sample workout routine for Eva, incorporating warm-up, conditioning, and cool down, all tailored to her specific needs and goals. I'm loving this approach of combining different types of training for a well-rounded workout experience.
Exactly. And remember, this is just a starting point. As Eva's fitness improves, we can adjust the program using those principles of progression and regression. Maybe we increase the duration of her cardio intervals, add more weight to her strength training exercises, or introduce new activities to keep her challenged and engaged.
This has been such an eye-opening journey. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the science behind exercise and how to apply it to create a safe and effective workout plan. It's not just about randomly hitting the gym anymore. It's about understanding how my body works and using those insights to train smarter.
That's the beauty of exercise science. It empowers us to take control of our fitness journey. It's about understanding those core principles, listening to your body, and designing a plan that works for you.
It's about making exercise a sustainable and enjoyable part of life, rather than a chore or a punishment.
Well said. And remember, the learning never stops. Just like our bodies adapt to exercise, our knowledge should adapt too.
So keep learning, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep moving. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into exercise science.
It's been a pleasure exploring the amazing world of fitness with you.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic.